All right, welcome back to another episode of the Why Not Us podcast.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes,
Mike McGowan across the table from me here. I've got a beautiful view of him. My name is Carter Kramer. You do look gorgeous today. What's up with the Pirates? Is that a Pirates hat?
It's a Pirates hat.
I thought you were a Red Sox guy.
I am a Red Sox fan.
Isn't that like cheating? Isn't that like a...
Absolutely not. Have you been?
You better not let Timlin see that.
He can see it. I've been to this stadium. It's a gorgeous stadium.
He's not a fucking Pirates fan.
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, you never know.
Well,
I mean,
I tell you,
some people lose friends over
there's
stuff like
a
that.
sweet bar right across the street.
Yeah?
Guess what the name of it is?
No idea.
Mike's.
Ah,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well done.
Yep.
All right. Well, we have had a busy day. We just got back from lunch at, what's it called? Harvey's Weinburger?
Correct.
I thought it was the right way?
Correct.
Yeah, I always say
Yeah,
it
you got it.
backwards. I always say Harvey Weinburgers.
Yep.
But anyway, it's
Harvey's
really good.
Weinburger.
I had a beautiful garlic
Patty melt.
Ooh,
Yeah.
man, that thing was delicious. It
was
was giant.
massive.
Oh, my God, it was huge. There was like half a cow in that thing. It was electric. I feel better, though. I feel like...
Yeah, I know. That's what
Okay,
I'm saying.
so, dude, awesome one today. This has been a huge topic, bro, and I'm excited to talk about this because it's like, you and I talked about this a while before. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit back and forth in a couple different pods.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden, there's this battle going on between the state of Texas and the federal government about the border security.
Yeah.
Basically, Texas is like, dude, we're fed up, bro.
Yeah. Shelby Park.
Yeah, like you're not doing your job. We're gonna take care of it. And you had talked about, dude, it was crazy because you had talked about this, and it was what? I mean, a week maybe went by.
It was a couple weeks later, yeah.
And that was when like
Had to
all
put
hell.
the statement
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And I said in the states' rights episode that we did that they had that per the Constitution.
Yes.
In Article 1, Section 10,
Yes.
boom.
If the federal government fails to do their part to
correct.
protect the border, the state has their right
Their right.
to
defend
basically-
themselves.
Yes,
Defend themselves.
defend their borders
against
right?
an invasion, right?
Right. It really, I mean, dude, it was awesome. That was crazy timing. So, and again, we kind of put this on the docket before all this kind of really started to get. So it's been kind of, we've been kind of bookended this deal.
What spurred in this conversation was when Biden decided to build the wall, like his 20 miles of wall.
Yeah.
Right. They all like 2 months earlier.
Yeah.
They auctioned off all the material.
Yes.
That's what spurred this conversation.
Yes. Yes. So let's talk about that because I think that I brought that up to you. I was like, dude, did you know? And I can't remember. Somebody brought it up to me, and I was like, no.
Yeah. I've got the figures.
No.
Oh yeah.
And I started digging in, and I was like, you got to see this, bro. This is nuts. So, and you found some more information than what I had previously had. So let's talk about this a little bit. So
So just
we spent.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Well, but to set some context,
Yes.
68% of Americans disapprove of Biden's border policy. So it's basically the disapproval rate of Biden, period, because it is 2/3, right?
Right, a little more than that.
72% of Americans believe the migrant surges over the border over the past few years amounts to a crisis. Both border states and America's cities, because they're shipping them up to Chicago, they're shipping them up to New York, they're shipping them up to wherever, right?
And dude, it's important. We mentioned this in the podcast before. People need to understand, like, just because people are coming across, let's say, the Mexican border, it doesn't mean they're coming from Mexico.
Right.
They may have traveled from the Middle East. They may have traveled from Africa. They may have traveled from Europe. They may have traveled from South America. I mean, they could come from anywhere, right? That's just the point of entry.
I think the biggest one, and it's not even a port of entry. They're not crossing at points of entry.
No, I'm saying they're just I'm just saying that
yeah.
border just happens to be where they're coming into the country. It doesn't mean that they're Mexicans, right, or Hispanic individuals.
I think the majority of them are Venezuelan.
Really?
That's what we're saying.
I don't know. See, I feel like now there's people coming from everywhere.
There was a group of like 5 guys that beat the hell out of 2 New York City cops, and they were all Venezuelan.
Really?
Yeah. And one of them had
crime, man. I hate the crime.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Anyway.
So let's talk about this.
So Biden made 94 executive actions in his first 100 days relating to the border. And so now he's saying he needs Congress to fix it. He needs the funding from Congress. He needs Congress to act.
Right.
He doesn't. He can do it with a stroke of a pen again. He can undo. He can redo what he undid that was under Trump.
Yes, and we talked about this too. This was like one of his big running topics. Was he would stop the wall? This is outrageous. And again, recently we talked about an article where now he's asking for this money to kind of rebuild this little short section of wall. And I have no idea. I think it's something to do with the fact that the money was already allocated. Is that not
in the previous administration? Correct. So Trump had allocated the money,
and he doesn't want to lose the money.
Well, no. So it was already spent, right? The materials were bought.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah.
Bought, staged, the whole nine, right?
Okay.
So They spent, the department, so it was $260 million worth of border wall construction materials.
What?
And the White House has spent an additional $47 million storing the unused border materials due to its refusal to finish it once Biden came in and made that executive order. So you do the math, that's $307 million that was sitting there.
Okay.
That was ready to be built. It was materials, equipment, etc.
Yeah, I know there's a load of materials, steel.
And so they said, no, we're not doing it. We're not building any more wall. Right. And so that shit sat there. So then in September, in August and September, they auctioned it off. Ready?
Oh, this is going to be good.
$307 million they spent for the materials and for storing it.
Yes.
They sold it for $455,000. $307 million, they got them $500,000 back.
And we wonder why we're broke. We wonder why we have $34 trillion in debt when this is how these people are handling our money.
It's absolutely insane.
It's our money.
It's our money.
I mean, can you imagine?
No. So,
and I do this all the time, man, because the government's the largest business in the country.
It's our money.
At this point.
It's our
largest
money.
employer.
It's our money and our debt.
Absolutely.
By the way,
Absolutely. Look, man, this is what's scary to me, or what really infuriates me. The government is a business. It is the largest business in the country at this point, largest employer. If you or I made a business decision like this,
oh, yeah, done.
You're buried, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And you have ruined yourself for eternity.
Your reputation.
If you made an asinine decision like this, Mike.
So
unbelievable.
But here's the best part. So that was August and September.
Yeah.
Right. They auctioned off $260 million worth of materials, and then you tack on the 47 for the storing. Right. For the storage, but they sold it for $500,000. Basically, I'm going to round up. I'm a sales guy.
You're talking $306.5 million shortage or something like that, right?
Right. But now in October, they wanted to go build 20 miles worth of wall down toward.
It's way down there, right?
Way down there, right? I've got a little map.
Is it like Laredo? Yeah,
something like that. And so then now they have to buy the materials all over again. And
you can't make this stuff up, bro.
And I'll tell you, I'll just say this.
Unbelievable.
I'll just say this. For 20 miles of wall, they're going to spend a lot more than $500,000.
Oh yeah, dude. The first thing I do is go back to the person that bought the stuff and be like, "Hey, bro,
reclaim it."
Yeah, we made a mistake, or hey, let's work out a deal with you to buy something back. Who bought it?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea who bought it? Is there any way to find out?
It says, hold on. It was, which attracted a range of winning bids. So previous estimates suggest it made about $500,000. That's what I said. No, it doesn't say who did it. Who bought it?
Wow. I wish we would have bought it.
Yeah, right. I mean, we could sell it back to him and
pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's just unbelievable, man. So just another example of just the, this is a policy situation where somebody is taking a position to, try to get votes, right? Trying to prove a point.
We'll talk about that, yeah.
Executive order, stroke of the pen. We've talked about this. Why? That shouldn't happen. Is this a dictatorship?
Yeah.
No, it's supposed to be a democracy, bro.
Yeah. So let's talk about the votes.
It's unbelievable,
right? And this is the big piece where I'm coming from. For this conversation, because don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Spending $300 million and getting $500,000 back is asinine.
Horrendous.
It's asinine.
Yeah.
And
it's horrendous.
So let me ask a question. Do you think Trump would ever make that deal?
No.
No, because he understands dollars and cents.
Yeah, at least he's done some business in his life.
Yeah, exactly. Besides, other than Joe Biden, a career politician, right? Eating his ice cream.
He's been doing deals like this his entire career.
Exactly. He's fucking the American people his entire career.
Yeah.
Flip-flopping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's another thing about Biden. So he flip-flopped on this because he said during the campaign, he said for his first couple of years in office, he's not going to build the wall, not going to build the wall, not going to build the wall. Now he has to build 20 miles worth of wall, which is a sliver of the total, right?
Yep.
But now he has, after auctioning it off, he has to buy more materials. It's going to cost, so 307, just tack on another 100 million for 20 more miles. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, it's unbelievable. So it's just burying ourselves, man.
So let's get to the numbers, shall we?
I'm going to pull this back up. Go ahead.
So there's a lot of people out there that say that, and the number since Biden has taken over, there's been 9 million people who crossed illegally into the United States.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of estimates out there that say there's approximately 11 million illegal immigrants in the country. Ooh. Right?
Yeah.
Hold on. So,
a lot of people.
And if you look at any of the interviews of the past couple of weeks, you know, because they're constantly going down and interviewing these people as they're crossing the border, as they're in their care. Yeah. One young guy he got in with a caravan like in Central America and walked with the caravan and rode on the train with the caravan and was doing interviews, and they all love Biden. Biden's the best. Biden welcomes us. Biden. But we love Biden. We love Biden. We love.
Of course, yeah.
Right.
Of course.
Okay. So
why wouldn't you?
So now,
right.
And so now, you know, what's Biden going to try to do? They're going to try to, you know, give amnesty and make these people citizens. You give them New York.
Get a work visa.
New York will give them.
Talked about this.
New York will give them a driver's license. Guess what you can do if you have a driver's license? Vote.
That's what I was going to say. Man, I think it starts with the work visa because they, you know,
right.
Like, well, okay, if you're going to be here, you might as well go.
Yep.
You know, provide some labor, whatever it is. If you get a work visa, you're, I think, immediately eligible for a driver's license in most states.
Yeah.
And then that transitions into now you're able to vote.
Now you can vote, right?
Yeah.
So Yale did a study late last year. So end of the second half of 2023.
Okay.
So you hear a bunch of reporting talk about 11 million in illegals, right? Wow, that are in the country right now.
Okay.
The Yale study, and by the way, Yale, not exactly a conservative stronghold.
No, I was going to say, the opposite.
It's part of that poison ivy league, right?
Yep.
So they did a mathematical model, right, on a range of demographic and immigration operations data.
Okay.
The researchers estimate there are 22.1 million undocumented immigrants
double
in the United States. Double. Now, and that's even using parameters intentionally aimed at producing an extremely conservative estimate.
Yeah.
They found a population of 16.7.
Wow.
Right? So call it 17. I want you to remember that 17 number. Right?
17 million.
It's 22, but think of keep 17 in your head. Right?
Okay. Yep. I got you.
So they combine data with demographic models, and it's a very simple logic. And, you know, it's equal to the initial population plus everyone who came in minus the deportations, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
But it's inflows and outflows. I mean, basically, right?
Yep.
But they said it was really difficult to do. They ran 1 million different simulations.
Wow.
With this model, right? So if anybody out there is familiar with SPSS, right? You know, running those kinds of mathematical models, you have to run it over and over and over again to get your get your range really close.
Get variable results, right?
Yep, exactly. So 95% probability range is 16 to 29 million, with 22 being the mean. Right, so 22 is a pretty good number, but I even want to go back to that 16.7. We're going to round it up to 17
million. Yep.
Okay, so
I remembered, just like you told me.
There you go,
following directions.
So again, just for some more context, you've got everybody saying Biden's the best, Biden's the best, Biden's the best. Blah, blah, blah. All these guys coming, we love Biden, right?
Yeah, land of opportunity. Here we go.
So do you know what the largest vote count? Landslide presidential election in recent history. Do you know who it was when it was?
Was it Reagan?
Yeah,
it was Reagan
over Mondale.
Okay,
in 84.
Yes, and everybody. I just feel like Reagan he dominated, but
he did.
That was a guess.
Reagan took
no idea what the margin or what
60% of the popular vote. He took that.
Wow.
Year.
Okay. Yeah.
He crushed them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So he took the electoral vote majority in 49 of 50 states.
Whoa! Really?
He crushed.
I didn't realize it was that.
It was good times, right? The total margin.
A handsome guy.
Yeah. The total. He was an actor.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's where the hell broke this Reagan era.
And in a cowboy hat, like he was a good looking dude. Anyway,
he had some great quotes. Anyway.
Oh yeah. The total margin of victory was 54 million to 37 million. Do that math in your head real quick. 17 million. Yeah. So basically, with all of the illegal immigrants that are in this country, 22 or between 17 and 22, whatever you say.
Yeah.
Right? The Democrats, the Biden and the administration and all the Democrats that are just, let them come.
Yep.
And then, oh, by the way, then we'll give them amnesty or we'll give them driver's license so they can vote or whatever the case might be. You just wiped out the largest landslide in American history or in recent history anyway.
Right.
17 million votes.
That's right. You can overcome anything insurmountable.
So it's a complete. We want to keep control.
Now let me ask you this, man. Here's a question for you. You know, out of that 22.1 million, I'm going to call it, right?
Yep.
I would assume are some of those children, are some of those, are all of those people adults? I mean, like, there's got to be some other barriers that would probably get us back to that 17 million anyway. But I'm kind of throwing that out there.
Sure.
Like, there's got to be some offset.
The majority of them are adults. There are some children, right? Like,
I'm sure. Yeah,
you've seen the reporting about how the Homeland Security lost 85,000 kids, right? Like they lost track of them. Basically.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But I mean, still, even let's just say that 3 of the 17 million are kids, they're going to grow up and vote at some point.
You betcha.
Especially,
and that's been happening for decades.
It has been, right?
Yeah.
So the dreamers, right, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I just think it's plausible, and it's not a conspiracy theory, right? We've said that a lot today. But like to say that the current border policy is less about welcoming in like asylum seekers. And it's more a tactic to shore up the immigrant vote and hold on to control and power forever. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, man, there's so many scary things that come along with this giant number of undocumented people coming to the United States. You cannot track them. You don't know who they are, where they're going, what their intentions are. And we've said this a lot, man. Immigration is a key part of our economic health in the United States. It is. Mm-hmm. Legal, healthy immigration is how we need to preface that, right? It doesn't mean we want to just flood the country with people we don't know and that are fleeing from somewhere, a lot of them, right? There's a ton of people trying to get in here because this is the land of opportunity, right? They're trying to do the right thing. They want to feed their kids or do whatever, fine. But there's a lot of the other stuff going on too, man.
I would push
drugs.
Back. Of course.
I mean, there's a ton of other things going
Criminals.
on. Yes.
So the reason I mentioned Venezuela, because the majority of the people, I guess the largest chunk of people is coming from Venezuela.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories. Here we go again.
Right.
But there's a lot of theory that, remember when Cuba, way back in the day, they emptied their jails and just sent them to Florida?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are thinking that Venezuela's just emptied out a lot of their prisons and jails.
Oh my gosh.
And those people are coming up, right?
Great.
I mean, that situation in New York a couple days ago where 5 of them beat the hell out of 2 cops.
Yeah, I saw that, dude.
Yeah.
Were they Venezuelan guys?
Yeah, all Venezuelan. And then, by the way, they attacked 2 cops, and 4 of the 5 were released, no cash bail.
Oh.
Ridiculous. Even Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, said we got to send them back. You don't hit cops. Right, like, and she's like a hardcore liberal Democrat governor of New York.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's getting out of hand, man.
It is.
It's been out of hand for a while, but it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's we talked about this with the election situation coming up. This is a very hot topic.
Yeah,
I think in both Iowa and New Hampshire, this was considered to be the most important topic of the upcoming election. Mm-hmm. People are not comfortable with the situation that's happening.
Yeah, agreed.
It's and again, that's Iowa and New Hampshire.
Yeah.
These are not border states. This isn't Texas or Arizona, right? Like, I mean, this is like the middle of it. I mean, New Hampshire, they maybe get some overflow from New York or some of those places, but like Iowa doesn't. I mean,
well, it's really funny because during the New Hampshire primary or whatever, there was a lot of people talking about immigration, and a lot of them were talking about the northern border. There was a lot of conversation about the northern border and people coming over the northern border.
Yeah,
in the same way.
I suppose, it's any way to get in is a way to get in, right? I mean, I don't know. And you think, man, we've got water on 2 sides. It's really hard to patrol all that and understand what's going on there. I feel like it is. It's just hard. It's big, right? Yeah. We've got to be able to control at least the land entry to some extent.
Well, there was video of 2 days ago of this. I don't know. I wouldn't call it a speedboat, but it was a decent sized boat, probably 28, 30 footer.
Okay.
Right. Flies up, beaches itself. A bunch of people jump out and run. In La Jolla.
Really?
Yes.
It's got to happen, right?
Came in. Some guy was out there kayaking or whatever.
Yeah.
And he had a GoPro.
Yeah.
And he filmed the whole thing. You see the boat just run up, or just comes up.
Yeah.
Beaches itself. And people just jump out and like cockroaches just start running.
Holy cow, man.
It's insane.
It is insane. I just watched a video the other day, which I thought was really funny, which was a video of Joe Biden about, I think it was 22 or 24 years ago or something, or 20 years ago, at a town hall meeting talking about how, if he could get what he wanted, he would secure the borders and he would do this. And
because he didn't want his wife or his daughter or whatever. Yeah. He didn't want his family walking around streets.
I think he said he didn't want to fear for his wife and his daughter.
Yeah.
And now the thing is, it's like, I mean, the guy dumped $300 and some million worth of materials to try to help this situation become secure and safe for $455,000.
Yeah. Yeah. And this whole thing, I mean, and this whole, the recent shtick of his is, I need Congress to act and I can fix it. If Congress acts, if Republicans in Congress aren't holding me up, I can fix it. Well, that's a bold-faced lie.
Right.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
Because he can do it with a pen. And, oh, by the way, remember, we've talked about this several times. His first 2 years in office, he had a majority in both the House and the Senate. He could have done anything he wanted to.
Right. And Mike, I've said this 100 times, and I'm not to beat a dead horse, but like, the wall situation is not to stop every single person from coming in the country. It's to force them to come in a way that they can be documented and we can understand who they are and what their intentions are. That's it.
Yep.
It's not to just shut off the faucet.
Yeah.
I think that's the people think like, oh my gosh, we're just going to never have anybody else come in the southern border. No, that's not what this is about. It's about forcing those people to go through specific points of entry so that we can understand who they are and what they're doing.
So the local senator here, Kirsten Sinema, her and a few others are drafting this proposal, this bill, for a new immigration law. And no one's read it yet, right? The text isn't out. Probably by the time we release this podcast, it will have been released.
Okay.
Right? Or the text will be out there. Maybe even it will have been voted on. I don't know, right?
Okay, yeah.
But there's rumor, like some of it's leaked.
Okay.
And one of the provisions is we can let 5,000 illegals in a day.
I mean, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
Right? What other purpose is there?
What does it do? It does nothing.
And why can't we just have more people coming in we just got to organize I don't know.
So there's also if you go back throughout this administration, and you divide the number of days by the number of people who come in, it works out to about 10,000 a day.
Holy buckets, really?
About 10,000 a day.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot of people, right?
It's a lot of people.
So that bill just cuts it in half. I don't know that helps anything. But you know what else is about 10,000 a day in the United States of America?
What's that?
Number of births.
Huh.
Yeah. So we're reproducing.
20,000 a day.
So 20,000 people a day, new humans.
Yeah. How many people are dying, you think?
And only half of them are citizens.
Yeah. Wow.
So if you remember, and I'm not going to go this far, but if you remember that Trump said that they're poisoning the blood of America or something like that, a really controversial statement.
Yeah.
Right. But I think what he meant is like you're watering down like any kind of tradition and family legacy and all that other stuff for everyday Americans because you're letting in just as many people as who are being born every day.
Right.
And he said it the wrong way because he's a jackass like that. And
of course,
you know how he says things, and it's really stupid sometimes.
He doesn't always.
But the point is, like, it's being watered down.
Yeah,
like who we are and where where we've come from in terms of our own country. It's being watered down.
Doesn't it bother you though, man? That and we've talked about this too. It bothers me that we've gotten to a point where a lot of people who, that were born in this country take it for granted.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like there's people literally risking their lives every day just to try to have an opportunity to get through, slip through the cracks, to have one shot.
Yeah.
And we have people here that are like, sucks.
I don't want to work. I just want to play Xbox all day.
Wish can we just trade them? Yeah. Could we start like a human trade thing? No? Is that trafficking? I don't know. Possibly.
Maybe.
I'm talking about adults.
There's money involved?
Nah. I mean, really though, I would rather have the people that really truly do want the opportunities and that are grateful for the opportunities to be here than the people that are whining and complaining and bitching about how sucky this country is.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate that, right? It's like, now listen, do I agree that we've got lots of things that we could improve on in this? Of course. It's always going to be that way, man. It's never going to be perfect.
Yep.
But I think we have so many more freedoms in so many places in the country. There's a ton of things, Mike, we can do here that you can't do in a lot of other places.
Right.
And there's people that just think that, they're getting the short end of the stick. It's like,
well, it's our own fault.
I mean, yeah, what are we raising a bunch of?
It's our own fault. I mean, I don't mean you and me specifically necessarily, but
no, we've definitely done this to ourselves.
Yeah, we did it to ourselves.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, we just take everything for granted, right?
But you know what's going to straighten this out, Mike? You know what's going to straighten this out is there's going to be some upheaval of some situation that's going to occur. Whether that has anything to do with people coming into the country or not, there's going to be some conflict, and it is going to wake a lot of people up, man.
So it's really interesting, this is a little racially charged, right?
Oh boy.
So no, recently in Boston,
okay,
right? So there's a state gymnasium, like it's not a gymnasium, it's like a big field house, and it's a park, and it has a massive field house in it.
Okay,
and apparently you can fit 400 people in it. If you like bedded down and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So the state of Massachusetts, against Boston's wishes, right? Remember Michelle Wu? Is it Michelle Wu?
Yeah, I think so.
The mayor of Boston who had the discrimination holiday parties. Mm-hmm. You could only come if you were a person of color.
Yep.
And then she had another one with everybody, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so she didn't want it. She said no. But the state of Massachusetts, like, we own the field house, we own the park. We're doing this.
Okay.
Now that park is in a predominantly black neighborhood in Roxbury.
Okay.
Right. And so you've got a bunch of black residents who are up in arms, and they're like, "This is our place. This served our, that place was there for our kids.
Yeah.
It was after school programs.
Yeah.
It was a place to go.
Yeah.
It like kept people off the streets, all that kind of stuff, right? Like, and now they can't use it because it's been taken over for at least, they said, a minimum of 6 months.
Wow.
Because of the migrant surge. And so you've got the same people that are always advocating, right, for lower income or for people that are less fortunate, right?
Yeah.
And that black neighborhood it kind of fits that description, right?
Yep.
You're the same people who advocate for that all day long. Yet now they shut their access off because they got to house more people that you don't even know. And think about the crime and all the shit that's going to happen because of that.
You just don't know, man. You don't know. You've seen it with the hotels in New York, right? The same thing. They're filling up these hotels with, and people are just losing their minds. And some of these are the same people fighting. And
it was on YouTube, but it got taken down. Of course, yeah. There's a New York City cop. Right.
Okay.
After that beating that the two cops took from the 5 Venezuelans, immigrants, the illegals.
Yep.
When they finished beating the cops' asses, where'd they go?
Right into some hotel, probably.
No, they went right to a shelter.
Yeah.
A taxpayer-funded shelter.
Yeah.
They went right back to it. And this video that was on YouTube for a half a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Was this New York City cop just blasting?
Yeah.
He was pissed.
Absolutely, he was pissed.
And he should be.
Yeah.
He should absolutely be.
This is the thing, man. I mean, we cannot invite, that type of behavior in here it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. We're already having trouble holding people accountable. We're reducing, sentences for crimes, which again, in some cases I think is justifiable. But in some cases, if you're a violent criminal, no, you go to prison, bro.
If you attack two cops,
yes, I'm sorry, man.
Sit your ass in jail.
Yeah. Like that's it.
Yeah.
There's no, there's certain things I just don't have any time. I laugh. It's like the policies in Illinois. It's like, we're not gonna incarcerate people anymore for carjacking. Oh, car thefts are up 133%. Well, it's the car manufacturer's fault.
Yeah. Let's do the cars. Let's do the car.
Like, wow, that happened in 1 year when you changed all your policies. But golly, it's definitely the cars. It's the car's fault.
That's insane.
I mean, what are these people thinking, man? These policies and these
scapegoat shit
are just laid out there, and people have no idea the consequences for what they're doing.
Nope.
They want to be like, oh, let's be progressive, and well. I think we need to be a little bit careful.
Yeah,
I think we need to be a little bit more thoughtful when we start to put this stuff together and understand there's consequences. It's scary, man.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
Yeah.
So what are next steps now, man, with this situation?
Well, we're up on a break. So let's take a break real quick, and we'll come back and we'll talk through some more.
All right, sounds good. We'll be back. All right, we're back.
We are
from the break.
That was a longer break than usual.
Yeah, it's good. Deep breath. I wanted to look up a couple things. Can I read you something really quickly? Because I think some people are sitting here going like, oh, is it really, are these guys really committing crimes? Is it really,
Fire away.
So here's some stats. This is from the U.S. Department of Justice. Okay. This is a study that they did between 2012 and 2018.
Okay.
After this study was conducted, the length of the full study is 8 pages, by the way, but here's kind of a brief summary. The study found that undocumented immigrants had substantially lower crime rates than native-born citizens and legal immigrants across a range of felony offenses. Relative to undocumented immigrants, U.S.-born citizens are over 2 times more likely to be arrested for violent crimes, 2.5 times more likely to be arrested for drug crimes, and 4 times more likely to be arrested for property crimes. Now, Mike, this is the interesting thing.
Okay.
How many more U.S.-born citizens are there than undocumented immigrants?
Lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Hundreds of, it'd be tens of millions of people. It probably would be.
Well, the population of the U.S. is 360-ish.
I was going to say, it's a big number.
And if they're claiming there's 10 or 11.
Yeah, so we're talking hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
Isn't this funny?
Yeah.
You start to dig into this and realize that they don't take into account
it's not
lopsided
per capita, right? It's just period. It's just pure numbers.
Yeah.
Well, no shit.
Right.
And actually, if it's only 4 times more, then that's scary.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. That's a big flip-flop number.
Because let's just say
I love how these things are written.
It's 11.
Fantastic.
Let's say it's 11 and it's 360. Then you're talking about that's 32 times more.
Yeah.
Something like 30 times more. Let's just say.
And you know what's funny, man? There's the part of this is when you look at these things, a lot of times they have the grant awards. So the people who are given the money to go out and conduct these studies.
Mm-hmm.
So they're paying them, which is funny because I have a feeling that they're paying them to make sure that they give them the results that they would like to achieve.
Of course.
Studies. Anyway.
Of course.
I just found that funny, man. I thought you'd get a kick out of it.
Well, I mean, it's just like this Atlanta DA that's that charged Trump and is trying to take Trump in like 6 years.
Yeah.
So first she had the whole thing with the special prosecutor that she was running away with while he was married, and she was paying him oodles of money, and then he was buying plane tickets and shit.
Right.
But it just came out now that they got a grant. So her office got a grant to deal with inner city crime.
Okay.
But gangs in particular.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And then one of her staffers went to her, Fannie, whatever.
Yeah.
Fannie Willis. One of her staffers went to her aide. So Fannie's aide, Mr. Cuffey, I can't remember the first name. But the aide went to Cuffey and said, hey, you're spending this money the wrong way. You're buying MacBooks and you're buying swag and you're booking travel. And it's supposed to be, this grant is very specific. It's supposed to be for inner city gangs.
Right.
And outreach and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
Not MacBooks and swag.
Yeah.
Travel, right?
Yeah.
Guess what happened?
Huh.
She got fired. The whistleblower got fired.
No, my God.
Yeah. And this is the person who's charging Trump and so many others.
No, yeah. But, and the same thing, man. If that was you or I, that would be misappropriating those funds, would be in jail.
100%. 100%.
But yeah, it's hard to, that's why this thing's scary, man. So
it's lies, statistics.
I think we've covered some of this. I think this is a big, big topic that we could go on and on and on about. And it's obviously really important to a lot of people because, like I said, it's come up as one of the hottest topics in the upcoming election this year, 2024. What's going to happen, man? We've got this little 20 miles of wall now that we're going to pay money back for, after we, basically gave away $300 some million worth of materials.
Yep.
What's going to happen? This thing has been a shit show. It's always in the discussion. Do you remember, the thing that bugs me is how during the last election in 2020, there was all of these people going, oh, we've got children in cages and we've got all these things. Remember that?
Trump put kids in cages.
Yeah. And did you know that situation has been going on since
forever?
Yeah. It really, I think, got really out of hand during Obama's administration. Yeah. You can look back pretty clearly, see where there was just a ton of people. And again, it was they assumed, I think, that they could just come in.
But at least Obama, remember his nickname, the Porter in Chief?
Yeah, no, dude, he cleaned up a lot of that stuff. And I think that he did some good things, too, for some of that. But again, it was so big, dude, that nobody could fix it. Yeah, the funding wasn't there to fix it. At the end of the day, I think the solution needs to be, hey, sorry, dude, you can't hang out here and wait.
Yeah.
Like if you're coming in as an undocumented person, you got to go back, and you can spend your time on the other side of the border until you want to come in legally. I think we just have to set that precedent, don't you think? Yeah, it's remain in Mexico, and it needs to be that way. Don't you agree?
I agree.
We shouldn't be housing these people and waiting and going through these like we don't have the means and the resources and the space to do so.
Well, I think I think Biden and his administration, and if in fact the direction is coming from him, which I don't know that it is. I mean, because I'm not sure he has a coherent thought, right? And he can't make those kinds of policy decisions. But even if he is, right? Yeah. Like, it's about him and it's about his party, and that's it. It's about the votes. It's about, look, every time Biden goes somewhere and talks, right? So he went to, remember the Maui wildfires? Yeah. And he went there. And he talked to me. He tried to kind of like...
Yeah, he's talking about his garage fire or something, was he? His kitchen fire. How is he? I know what you're going through.
Yeah, you got people that have lost their homes and lost their business.
Everything.
They've lost everything. Yeah. You got people that burnt alive in their cars, right? And he's talking about a kitchen fire. Yeah. Just recently, we were talking about this earlier. He went to... He was talking to those 3 soldiers that got killed over in Jordan from the drone attack. And he's talking to him, and he's talking about how he knows what they're going through because his son, Bo, lost his life in Iraq, which is not true. Right. It was brain cancer. Right. But he tries to shoehorn himself into every...
He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't even know if he knows how his son died. But hey, he's fit to be the president of the country.
I mean,
I'm saying it's sad, really.
The East Palestine thing, the worst environmental disaster in 2023. Yeah. He's going to go this month. He's going to go visit this month. He hasn't been yet. Yeah. He's going to go visit this month.
Yeah, he got chased out of Maui.
You know what the mayor said? Talking to a reporter, they're like, "What do you think of Joe Biden coming here?" He goes, "Well, I'd rather he didn't come now. He can come in 2025 when he's on his book tour."
Oh my gosh, I love it. Here's a couple more stats for you. Okay, ready? Illegal migration to the United States, cost the American taxpayer approximately $132 billion annually, and soon will exceed $200 billion by 2025.
And where's that money coming from?
You and me.
Yeah, oh, sure.
Taxpayer money, right? That's taxpayer money to fight it.
Not anymore. We don't have it. There's not enough revenue.
Yeah, that's right.
It's all debt.
Yeah, I mean, it's
all debt.
Yep, that's right. That's right. So yeah, it turns into a lot more than that when we're racking up debt at a high interest loans.
When you got to buy a hotel in New York City to house all these immigrants, right? All these migrants, right? Yeah. When you have to buy that hotel, and which they've done a lot, they bought several. I mean, the government has bought so many different properties, across the country to house these people. Yeah. Right. Yep. Where's the money coming from? Yeah. You just print it. Yep. Just print it and stack it onto the debt.
Everything's more expensive, and we have more inflation.
Stack it onto the debt.
Here's how these numbers cover. Illegal aliens, by the way, contribute approximately $31.4 billion in tax revenue, but cost the country $182.1 billion annually as of 2023, leaving a net loss of $150.7 billion annually.
Great business model.
150 billion.
Great.
You know what's funny, man, since we've been doing this, I used to always ask myself before we started this, I was always like, how in the Lord's name do you get to $34 trillion in debt? Yeah. And then I read these things, dude, the border wall materials getting purchased for 300 some million and getting dumped for 455 grand. We're talking about we're losing $150 billion net annually on illegal immigration. That's how you get there. Yeah. It's these types of things, man. It's possible through absolutely ignorant decision-making.
And apathy. Yep.
Yes. Man, what the hell are we doing? And these are the people running our country. Get your shit together. Get your shit together. It's true. I'm running out of patience, man. It's like you can, for a whole bunch of people that, claim to be fairly educated people, how can you not look at some of these things and go, ooh, man, you guys, we got to fix this? And actually follow through and try to get to some level of solution.
But don't forget, a lot of these fairly educated people are also getting the kickback, or they're putting the money in their family's pocket, or however it was.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
It's corrupt, man. Yeah. A lot of corruption. Yep. All right, buddy. Well, should we wrap it up there? What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah. Day's getting long. I write it down. All right. All right, everybody, you can check us out at whydontuspod.org on our website, or Why Not Us in all capital letters on Spotify, or also on our new YouTube channel, which has got a lot of fun shorts on it, some funny outtakes and things that we put together. And Jimmy at Why Not Results has put together. Thank you, Jimmy. We appreciate you. Your beard looks good, by the way.
Yeah.
He always does look pretty dapper, doesn't he?
You heard about the time he had to shave it.
I did hear that story, and we'll get into that at some point. We'll do that when we get Jimmy on the show.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good story.
But yeah, so the new YouTube channel, Why Not Us 1776, all one word. Check that out. There's some really funny stuff and some quick little vids if you don't want to sit around and listen to us jabber for a long period of time.
Yes.
And with that, I think we're out.
All right.
Thanks, stuff.